Finally, back-to-back home games for Ruben Amorim in the Premier League. Home games, so not back-to-back wins, so back-to-back home games. That's back-to-back wins at home for Ruben Amorim. Hi, John. Chelsea, Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. How happy are you?
Well, I'll say I'm excited because I think it's a 3 points that Manchester United really needed, both psychologically and emotionally as well, just to give a boost around the atmosphere of the club. And like you rightly pointed out, this is a back-to-back wins at Old Trafford since November, which I think we are hoping that it signals a good outcome, in the upcoming games.
Hope you know that it was the red card that changed the game.
But besides even the red card,
normally under Ruben Amorim this season, first 15 minutes, Man United is on you. First 15 minutes, every game one check, Man United is on the opponent. And I think the pressure was too much on Sanchez and Chelsea, and that was where Sanchez made that mistake. Because if you look at the replay, he was second-guessing himself. Oh, next thing, he stopped. He was running backwards. Then later, he stopped and tried to attack the ball. I don't know what he was thinking there, but it resulted to a red card, and I feel that was the turning point. Game changed from there.
Yes, I agree with you. That was actually the turning point of the game. And like you rightly pointed out, that has been Manchester United, sometimes even more than 15 minutes, sometimes we could see, maybe try to go for 45. Manchester United playing very well in the course of the first half and maybe look a bit lackluster in the second half. So I think the press, the intensity, the energy from the Manchester United team threw the Chelsea team off balance. So that actually, worked for our favor. And Robert Sanchez was giving his matching orders, I think, in the course of just barely 5 minutes.
Okay. Another question I want to ask is Casemiro. What do you have to say about Casemiro today? Scored and he was sent off.
Well, we all agree that for tonight's game, Casemiro can be categorized as both a hero and a villain. And
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And you know that we have rare cases whereby a single individual becomes both a hero and a villain. But I think that was the case for Casemiro today. After scoring the second goal, with his wealth of experience and with his pedigree as a player, I felt he did what he did in course of incurring a second yellow card was not something that should be like
because the guy was not even sorry for interrupting, because I feel the guy was not in a dangerous area. He was not endangering our goal or anything. So why do that?
My thoughts exactly. And even look, I didn't mean it was a Cole Palmer, I didn't mean it was a Rhys James, I didn't mean it was a Pedro Neto. I said, okay, yes, these are players who can even carry the ball further, and cause mayhem. But Andre Santos, he's not, like you rightly said, he was not really in the threatening position. And I'm very sure even if Casemiro was still on that pitch, there's a possibility that maybe he may just look to pass the ball to his sides or maybe backwards, unless he sees an opportunity to actually lead the ball forward, of which when they were down to 10 men, and we all noticed during the course of the game, Chelsea were also very careful not to overcommit so that the Manchester United team don't take them by surprise. So it was a poor decision from Casemiro. I did not expect a player of his pedigree to give a very silly foul. In fact, I had it in mind that should this decision cost us the game, I think he will be the number one person I actually blame, because
that was what the matter is. I blamed him for everything.
Yes. Because 10 versus 10, anything was possible. And
will you say that this was a game of because in the first half it was all Manchester United. In the second half, Chelsea took over. Chelsea played better in the second half.
Yes, they played better as in for large spells, but there's still some little moments of brilliance from Manchester United in the course of the second half. The Bruno effort, even I felt Manchester United, were just trying to be very cautious. I think even the other counter where they were supposed to square the ball to Ahmad or Dogu, if I'm not mistaken, was an opportunity to increase our goal tally. So what I'm trying to say is that we do have, or we had some decent opportunities in the second half to even increase our tally as well. So yes, like I rightly said, Manchester United, or like you rightly said, Manchester United, dominated the first half. Even the first half, we also agree with me that that game could have been maybe 3 or 4-0, before halftime. But well, we're able to squeeze into and uh, going actually win the game in the long run.
Okay, final question before we go. Let me hear your thoughts on this on the incident that happened in the box, and that's in the United box. Mazraoui, was that a penalty for you? I guess Manchester United, yeah.
Which particular?
Mazraoui.
Okay. Yes. No, that was not a penalty because
Right.
he
didn't touch the ball.
He did. If
Are
you
you
look
sure?
at the replay, he did. It's not really it's not really a full blown contact per se, but just a little nick. And I'm sure that is what the VAR actually considered to not to award the Chelsea team the penalty, because had it been he did not even just even have a slight touch on that ball, I think they would have given the penalty.
Okay.
He had a slight touch on that ball, a very slight touch, not a very minimal touch that is not even able to actually, it's not a touch that will actually, have any effect on the ball per se. And I think that was what the VAR actually, took into context, not to award the penalty to Chelsea.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining me, John. I'll see you next time.
All right. Thank you.